In the beginning, there was this IT career of mine. I had an IT job and I got fired. I found myself a bit lost walking around in the streets of Cambridge, and I happened to chance upon a BBC Micro. So while I was thinking about why it was that I was looking at this computer, basically I didn't have a computer. For some reason I'd gone and sold a PC that I had. So I was going through in my mind, how was this going to be maybe going to be useful? Because I remember that from the school days, the BBC was quite a computer that people learned to program on, and I had been doing programming. I was thinking, what could I try and learn programming and get my computer career moving again? So this is what I was thinking, like going through in my mind how what I could remember from school, what could be useful. So I didn't realise at the time how little I knew about the BBC Micro, but that's kind of getting ahead of myself. At the time I was thinking like, yeah, I can really get this, I can learn this and that. So I'm going into the shop and thinking, look, I can talk to this salesman and get something moving here. And the salesman just ended up giving me strange looks because I seemed to be asking him questions rather than telling him what I want to buy from him. And so in the end, I just got quite embarrassed about my thing, and I was, well, all right, I'll take the computer. So after a few embarrassing looks from the salesman, I give him the cash. I still had some money, and start taking the computer home with me. So then I'm thinking, going down the road, it was Mill Road in Cambridge, with this computer, thinking I can remember anything about this computer at all. So I got home, and then I'm actually, to get ahead of myself here, I'm living with some people in a shared house in Cambridge. I got home finally and got the computer to a place where I had a table. I just had a TV, which is quite fortunate because at the time, obviously, computers worked with TVs. So I got my computer down there on the table and sat it down and was thinking about, well, okay, what am I going to do with it, that kind of thing, getting into the idea of, remember, I had nothing really experienced with it. I got the cable plugged into the back of the television screen, got the computer powered on, and it started, and it was just quite great. I didn't even realise how great it was that all this was working, because it had even Acorn DFS built in, because I didn't know what it was. And I just thought, wow, but what do I do, because I don't know what I'm supposed to do with this computer. So that then got me onto the kind of wandering around in the scenes of Cambridge a bit, thinking, wow, I've got a career, I don't have that much money left, and I've got a computer that I have no idea what to do with. So I'm thinking in some Wednesday or something in midday, while everybody else is out and about working and the clever people doing their clever things, what do I do with my life then? So I'm like there thinking, but I do think I remember this place called Cambridge Microsurgery that I'd been to a few years earlier that had sorted me out for some 8-bit stuff, and this guy was pretty good. So I did find that place in just in Cherry Hinton somewhere, and he was still there in some business unit. And I got up to this place. I could still see the guy there, and I asked him, told him about the problem. I've got this computer. I've got actually nothing I can do on it. I need a disk drive. Do you have a disk drive that you can give me? And this guy, he goes into the back and fetches out this disk drive and says, "Is this the kind of thing you wanted?" Fantastic. Yeah, it was absolutely the thing I was looking for. So then I actually got that home in the end, and it did work. But then that kind of put me on the spot again, because then I had my career to think about. So I was going through the depressing scenes, going around the nights of Cambridge, not really knowing what to do with myself. I was going around the kind of the central area round about Mill Road and Parker's Peace, and I come across like the Zionist church, walking around there. I don't know why this happened, but there happened to be just on that, weirdly enough, particular spot, my friend, who I'd known from quite a lot longer before, and he was very pleased to see me, and we got talking about what was happening. And I told him, well, I've got no job, blah blah blah, and he just happened to have left a job in Peaceland, and he told me that they were looking desperately for someone to work there and start doing some kind of work. So he told me if I go there, they're going to be really really keen. So you just go there and tell them that I sent you. There's a guy called Paul there, and he's going to be the manager, and just all you have to do there is, and that's basically kind of like giving me a kind of weird thing, that a coincidence just on the church Parker's Place So I got thinking, right, well, I've got to do this. Next day I'm down there, walking towards this place in Cambridge Town Centre, walking towards the Pizza Land restaurant and seeing this guy Paul in there and seeing what's going to happen with my life now. I think, which is kind of like a bit of a relief. And there, sure there he was, and he was a bit desperate. And he was telling me, yes, we do need someone, and we want them, would you be willing to work, blah, blah, blah. And he told me we want someone to work these hours, these kind of things. And I agreed, obviously, and came back the following day or Friday or something like that. And then I met some of the people that worked in the kitchen, and they just took me through. It all sounds a bit weird, but there is a point to this, believe me. All the stuff to do with the kitchen and everything, but at least finally I was going to be working. And then I got myself in the kitchen, started making the pizzas on my own, finally got it sorted. But then, just as I'm getting a bit of confidence going with the pizzas, helping a bit, I'm thinking, what about this BBC micro while I'm doing all these pizzas, because I've got to sort out this BBC micro. And I was just thinking, I wonder who would know about BBC micros. And by complete coincidence, the waiter that I was handing the pizzas to, this guy called Kieran Evans, I asked him, do you happen to know by any chance anyone with a BBC micro? Because I've got nothing to do on it whatsoever. And he told me by complete coincidence again, yes, I've got a BBC micro. He was a BBC micro fan himself. So this kind of put me onto the thing, which I was able to get him to come around, and he was very kindly came around and gave me some games for it. So next thing I'm doing is I'm trying this disk drive and this new BBC micro I've got with this old game Killer Gorilla and a few other things. And for the first time I got my hands on the keyboard again. Weirdly with this BBC micro, it's quite bizarre the way all this happened. And it kind of got things moving again. And before you know it, I was kind of having fun playing games, like going back to my childhood a bit and thinking about things in a more kind of a productive kind of a way. And it just kind of broke away from the kind of tedium of not having a job and everything.